I think it's a wonderful thing that in Washington Township we celebrate our Teachers of the Year in such a special way. We've always celebrated Teachers of the Year. We do it every January. The county celebrates them as well. But for the Ed Foundation to have taken this step and now launched its second gala to celebrate this in a more fashionable and appropriate way, I think is very fitting for the teachers in our school. We can't really praise the work and the quality of the work, but more importantly, the importance of the work that our educators do every single day, whether they're in the classroom, in the guidance office. Supporting our kids is really a challenge, particularly in today's world, and folks who have dedicated their lives to that proposition make a difference in ways they can't even measure. So celebrating them tonight's a special thing. It's another way for us to show our thanks and gratitude for the work that they do, and I'm certainly hoping that they're all going to have a great time.
If you were to step foot in Mr. Gerwald's class, you would see a very zen classroom. That is the number one description that I could give for his classroom. He is our mindful guru. He implements yoga and mindfulness throughout the day. The kids are all very, very zen in the classroom, and when you walk in there, you just feel the energy of the room. It's just very positive. It's very calming. If you want to feel calm, you can go in there at any time. He has great classroom management, and I believe that's because of the type of classroom style that he implements every day. He's extremely engaging with the kids. He's fun. He cares so much about the kids. One of his greatest strengths is his compassion towards the kids. You can tell that he loves each child individually, and that he's excited to come to work every day and help them learn. He meets each child where they are. He is so warm and engaging to the kids, and just his compassion every day with the children. They want to do well for him because he gives them the same respect that he gives them.
John and I actually co-taught for 2 years together, so I have been in his classroom, and he just has such a great relationship with the students. He's all about them. When he talks to them, he gets down to their eye level. He's outside playing football, doing yoga with them, so he's just truly here for the children.
Jonathan has a great deal of poise and confidence when he's teaching. He spends long hours getting ready for the children, and I have to say the biggest thing that has really set him apart, I've known him for a couple of years, is how much he has gained and grown both professionally and personally. It's very impressive to see. We always look at growth, but his growth has been phenomenal. It's wonderful having a male. I think there's not enough men in especially this grade level, and I think he's a great role model for the boys and the girls, because they're used to hearing moms and women all the time, so I think it's a phenomenal an asset to our building and to his class.
We play a lot, and we like to play outside. We learn from him counting, and we learn writing. He lets you play whatever you want, but not anything else. He's fun, 'cause he lets us play, 'cause it's a fun classroom.
Compassionate.
Charismatic.
Sincere.
Nice.
You would see student engagement. They're engaged in whatever activity they have planned. She has station learning. She has small group instruction. So the kids are very on all the time, and they love her. So it's a fun class. A lot of smiles. Cristina stands out because she's Cristina. And once you know her, that makes sense. She came in my first year. I can clearly remember her walking in the door dressed as a mad scientist to teach science. So she plays the part. She plays the roles, and the kids love it. She's the Grinch at Christmas time, and the mad scientist is one of my favorites. And I remember walking in, observing her. She's one of the first people I observed in this building, and I thought to myself, wow, what is she going to be like in 5 years? And 5 years later, she's Teacher of the Year. She's amazing.
Fun. You would see a lot of fun. You would see the children engaged.
Yes.
She teaches with, she brings everybody in. So it's a room you want to be in. If my kids were in this district, I would want them to have her as a first grade teacher because it just sets the learning.
She's very happy, very
Yeah.
positive, very happy. She brings the best out of the kids.
She goes over and above a lot of what teachers do. You know, she gets to know the kids' families, and she goes out and sees their sporting.
I was going to say she's very involved in their extracurricular activities. I've gone to softball games with her students with her before.
Yeah.
She goes to watch them their dance recitals. So it's not just in school, and she looks at a child as the whole child, and she always finds the positive thing in that child, and that's what she'll work with.
She's a really funny teacher, and she always liked to have fun. She, whenever we could, if it was a rainy day, she would let us paint pictures, and she would let us do a lot of fun stuff, and she always liked to have funny kids, and she always liked to do fun things with us. Because she's really nice, and she lets us do all these things. She was fun. She looked pretty, and I really liked her voice because she learned you a lot of good stuff.
Outrageous.
Fun.
I'm going to say accommodating.
Probably funny and kind. Miss Curtis is the best teacher. That he's cool.
Lindsay Minton is one of the most dynamic people I know. She's got a great personality. She could light up any room with her personality and her infectious laugh. The students absolutely, positively adore her. One of her strengths is her way of building relationships. Every person in this building has a story about Lindsay Minton, and it's all usually pretty positive. I think the Teacher of the Year has to show great heart. So everything she does, she wears her heart on her sleeve. She, like I said, loves hard, plays hard, and is a great teacher, teaches hard.
Lindsay Minton was an amazing addition to the Birches family. She started back in 2007, and I've had the honor of working with her as the supervisor there for the last many years. One of the things that makes unique about Lindsay is that she has always been in a collaborative, cooperative environment. Initially, when she worked there, she started in a co-teach classroom, and she was the special education teacher in the inclusion role. She has then moved now into the classroom as the classroom teacher, but she still continues to work in a collaborative, cooperative environment. Lindsay is an amazing individual. She's very passionate about what she does, but she's very open to ideas and suggestions. She shares her wealth of knowledge very openly because she wants to help her students learn, and she also wants to help her colleagues learn. She's very open to change and trying new things. She's always participating in any professional development that we offer. She's a kind heart. She's a gentle soul, and she has a way of talking to people so that they feel inspired by her.
M stands for the many, many ways that Mrs. Minton makes a difference at Birches School.
R is for really supportive, and she always gives us a second chance.
S is for sensitive. She always fosters a caring environment for her students each day.
M is for a magnificent math teacher. Help me using friendly numbers in math.
I is for inspiring. She encourages students and staff every day to do the best that they can do.
N is for never boring. In her classroom, she had bouncy chairs and a fort with lights to read. T is for a totally awesome sense of humor.
O is for outstanding, optimistic, and overachiever.
N is for nicest teacher in the world.
Congratulations, Mrs. Minton!
Effervescent, for sure.
Collaborative.
Tracy's is a teacher who's innovative. She tries different things. When it be successful or not, she gives it a shot. And which is all what education's all about. There's no perfect science to education, and Tracy is one who finds new things, tries them, they work. She continues with them. She shares them with other teachers. If it doesn't work, she trashes it and moves on to something else, and doesn't find it as a defeat, but more of a learning experience for herself. She's always doing her own PD by doing her own investigations and finding new things to do. She's the type of student who will take students under her wing. She's actually taken some children who have struggles at home, and has helped them out off to the side. One student in particular, she set up and she does CrossFit, and she's able to get that child into CrossFit without a cost. So she takes the children off to the side and helps them out outside the school, and helps as well as inside school, because whatever happens outside comes into the school, and to help them be more successful that way. She does it with all kinds of kids, maybe not that extreme, but she does it with all kids. She's got a big heart for kids, and she looks out for the whole child, and not just the academics point of that kid. Tracy's always one who goes above and beyond. For example, recently she got a donation from Johnson & Johnson for a new water fountain, one of those water filling stations. She coordinated with her Green Club that she runs in the building to be able to do that. With the Green Club, she actually works with our butterfly garden and makes sure that's going where it's supposed to be. She's right now going to run a fundraiser and do a whole thing for recycling within the building. So Tracy does a lot for the building. She's not just a classroom teacher. She's a really good employee as well, and a good person within the building.
Tracy is just a giver. It's just in her human nature just to give to everyone and everything around her. So she teaches 5th grade, but I'm across the hall and I teach 1st grade. She doesn't just make connections with those 5th grade students, she's gone out of her way to make connections with my 1st graders as well. So my students know that they can go to her for a hug or just to brighten their day. And it's just exciting because you see it goes both ways. They make her feel good, but she makes them feel good, makes them feel special. And the cool thing about Tracy is she doesn't just have a passion for children, it goes beyond, and she's like a good human being because she has a passion for other adults as well. So she's just always encouraging all of us. And I think of her as a mentor, as a teacher, but just really as a person in life. And I just think that when I look at her, she shows me a better way to behave in myself. So I feel like I'm lucky that I don't just have her as a colleague, but I have her as a friend as well.
Tracy is a lifelong learner. She loves to just try new things all the time. We're constantly improving lessons, making them better, searching the internet. And then we share all new technology with the kids so that it's not boring, it's always fun and interesting. And she loves to use humor, especially when she needs a little pick-me-up when it comes to coffee. She does her little coffee talk, and she does this whole little spiel with the kids, and they love it. And it's just, we always have fun teaching, and we try to make it as much fun as possible, and she just has a way with humor and caring about not only their academic achievement, but their social emotional growth as well. And I'm very excited to call her a true friend and colleague.
Mrs. Callaghan is the best teacher. She is funny and also very nice. She is a great teacher to have because she would never make a lesson boring. So look forward to 5th grade.
Miss Callaghan is one of my favorite teachers. She brings out the good in others. She is kind and helpful to all of her students. She has a great personality and tells the funnest jokes. There is no limit of good things I could say about her, but congratulations on Teacher of the Year.
Mrs. Callaghan got Teacher of the Year because of the way she acts, teaches, and her personality. When there is a problem, she will always try to find a way to solve it. When there is something hard, she will try to break it down or make it simpler for people to understand. Her personality is funny, happy, upbeat, and a little excited. Mrs. Callaghan will always try to cheer you up when you're sad or if you're feeling sick. This is why Mrs. Callaghan is the best Teacher of the Year.
Makes a difference in all of her students' lives.
R, respected because of her passion for education.
S, selfless as she always puts others first.
C, challenges her students to reach their potential.
O, outstanding teacher that always promotes positivity.
L, loves making her students laugh with coffee talk.
L, lends a hand and a hug with 1st graders across the hall.
I. Innovative, always adapting and improving lessons using relevant technology.
G. Growth mindset and the power of yet is encouraged.
A. Always giving both before and after school with Green Club and coaching kickball craze.
N. Nurtures and develops long-lasting relationships with her students.
I can't use one word, it'd be two. Big heart. She has a big heart for everyone, not just her students, but other staff members, and so on. She always has a kind word for everyone. Tracy has a great sense of humor as well, so, and she's always there to crack someone up. So she's a good person.
Giving. She just gives to everything, morning, noon, and night. If you ask Tracy where she is right now, it's never about herself. She's taking care of a friend, she's doing lesson plans, she's improving her curriculum. She's just always giving.
Compassionate. She, like I said, it's not just about the academics, it's about if you have a personal problem, she'll be like texting you, what can I do to help? Do you need me to make your family a meal? Like, she goes above and beyond, whether it's with teaching, with parent phone calls to help students who are in need, anything of that nature. So I would definitely say compassionate.
Nothing's a problem for Dave. He comes in with a smile. They mentioned guitar, some of the kids, but he stands at his door every day, strumming the guitar as kids come in. So as soon as they approach the hallway, he's there playing something. Usually he involves a little song with their name. So he'll mention a kid's name in a song and then mention another kid's name. They go in and start with the bunny hop or something for the young learners. We've got kindergarten in here, so they adore him. The fifth graders, he adjusts what he does to keep them interested and them focused and engaged. So he's truly remarkable. Remarkable. His day is jam-packed. He runs a student-led drama club. So every year he comes to me and says, well, I don't know what's going to happen this year because the kids plan it all. They come up with a theme, they come up with the music, they come up with the script and the dancing. So he just kind of guides them, but what they produce is incredible. It's incredible. So he's truly remarkable.
I am very lucky because we're both up on the second floor and he's become my neighbor in the last couple years, and I just love listening to what comes out of that room. The kids, every one of them, as the boys and girls said, they're just involved, enthusiastic. He makes it fun. The kids, I love, and the quality that he gets, that's the other thing. It's unbelievable, whether it's drama, whether it's chorus, just class, every student is engaged and involved. He's very innovating. He's always thinking outside the box, what he can do to reach every learner, every level of student. He's incredible.
He's dynamic. You would see nothing but interaction with the children. He waits by the door with his guitar and they walk in doing either the bunny hop or singing some tune, and it's amazing to see. And the kids are just so excited to be there with him every day. I just think he's one of those teachers that think outside the box, and to me, he is that collaborative piece that the buildings need. And he's the silent, I don't want to say hard worker, but he's a silent teacher that thinks outside the box and does his job to the best that he can. He doesn't just stop at 3:40, 55. He continues to go and continues to flourish and create and make things for us. And I think that is over and above what we ask for our teachers to do.
Dave's classroom is just an absolute joy. It's one of my favorite classes to go and to observe because the kids are they enter genuinely excited to know what they're going to be doing in music class. They're always actively engaged. Smooth transitions that you don't even realize are a transition to a student, but to an adult you see it moving from one place to another. He's always greeting students at the door with a guitar, wishing them all good morning or good afternoon. It's probably one of the warmest environments I've ever encountered. And then he does all of these various activities with music with the students from kindergarten through 5th grade. Dave has been a longtime employee of our district. Not only has he spent time at TJ, but he's also been I believe he started here at Bell's, but he's also been up here at the high school. So he's really had, if you were to look at his teaching resume and classes taught even just within our district, he has seen and reached a lot of our students through various methods of music.
My favorite special is music because I like to sing songs. I like to play games because they are fun. I like to play instruments like a guitar. My music teacher plays his guitar because he is a music teacher. I like when he plays the guitar. He's fun and he lets us play instruments.
He really teaches you about music, and he lets you remember it with like creative ways to remember it, and he is creative and helped me learn a little about music. It's just fun in general to sing songs and learn about music and the way he teaches it.
He really involves everybody in the classroom and like doesn't leave anyone out unless they want to be left out. And he's like he always thinks of new ways how to teach people how to learn. He does like silly stuff to make everybody laugh, and like he creates like some rewards for us if we do stuff. Like if we sing one song correctly, he gives us a star.
I guess creative, because he's so unique in that he can adjust what he's doing with kindergarten and adjust all the way up to 5th grade. So he's very creative, and you would think he'd just be geared towards one level, but in his position, he can adjust his whole personality to, get to the level of those kindergarten kids and be silly and be on the carpet, and then adjust it and be more, more advanced for those 5th graders. Just a remarkable teacher.
Innovating.
I would say dynamic. I think he's a dynamic teacher.
Dynamic.
He likes music.
Inspirational because he inspired me to like learn more about music and to be in drama and to do all like fun things and choir and stuff and chorus.
Creative, because he always thinks of new ways how to do some things.
One of Hope's real strengths is that she works to make every student feel as if they're a really important part of what's going on in that room. And she does that through her one-to-one interactions with students, the way that she treats them in sort of a calm and measured way, and the way that she has fun with them. All of that kind of works together to make Hope's classroom a really wonderful place to be. Hope's background, initially she was a special education teacher in our building. She worked as a special education teacher in an inclusion setting for a number of years in 1st grade until 2017-18, where she moved into a 1st grade vacancy that we had as a general education teacher. And so she brings that traditionally special ed perspective of doing right by every child in the room and really individualizing her approach to her daily work. And so that's the impact that she's had. And she's represented us in a lot of ways in the district as well. She was a part of our equity team a couple of years ago when teachers were trained up to support staff and that work that we've done. And she remains a very active participant in our drama club program here, where she's a kind of a co-director for that. So she does a lot to impact students here in the building, for sure.
Well, one of the first things you would see is that Hope's classroom, it feels like a family. You know you're welcome there, you're so loved. It's why her students grow so much through the year. It is really such a respectful environment where the students are really encouraging one another, and that all begins with Hope. I think everything that Hope does is children-centered. Everything she plans from start to finish and making sure that everyone's included. She really is an out-of-the-box thinker in terms of making sure everybody knows that when they walk through her room, they have a space and she's been waiting for them.
I like that what we do for reading, and I like what we do for math, since we go in all like different centers. I like that she's kind and she's kind and she's nice and she's I like that she helps us with things that we don't really know. I like that she's really nice to us, and she's one of the best teachers I ever had, because I have
Hope is grounded. She's very grounded, and she has a poise and a calm about her that is far beyond her years. And frankly, is a poise and a calm that I aspire to as a guy who's been doing this maybe for a little bit longer than she has. It's something that I really respect about her, and that I work to kind of emulate in my own day.
Amazing.
kind. She is really nice.
If I had one word to describe Miss Urso, she is kind, and I like her because she is nice to me, and Miss Urso also does cool things.
Melissa has taken the traditional elementary school library and catapulted it into the 21st century with all sorts of progressive features. Students can go into that library and exercise while they read with what are called read and rides. They're literally pedals, so like you're sitting on a stationary bike while you read. And she's got all sorts of different environments and stations within the library so that students can build literacy in a lot of different areas, not just in the written word. So she brings that to her library space, but even more so throughout the school. She leaves such a large footprint in terms of what she contributes here. She was a huge component of crafting our positive behavior support program here in our school. She was just an architect, along with me and some other key staff that we worked to launch that a couple of years ago. I would argue that you can't walk into a classroom in the building and not feel Melissa Dabrowski's impact, and that's not an easy feat when you're an educator. But she does it, and she probably will hate the fact that I'm even talking about it because she's so humble about her work. But she's peerless. She's wonderful.
Just having Melissa in the building really inspires all of us. If you've seen the space that she works in every day, it's so creative. You're energized just by walking in the room. So she's really a leader and really gets us moving and wanting to do more around the building. You would never know she's not in every classroom of the building. Everything that she does and plans there is coming out of what supports our students as they return to their classrooms. She is such a team player in just planning and really being the driving force behind our PBIS Marvelous Mustang program. I mean, from the posters down to really the initiative to get us going, that's all because of Melissa.
I think she dedicates a lot of her time to her career and to the students. She really puts them first, which I think is everyone's goal here. She goes out of her way to help whoever needs it, whether it's staff, whether it's students, and I think it's a very deserving honor for her to have this title.
She is a very nice person. She's in my neighborhood. She always has something nice to say about people. She always has a smile on her face.
She's just heartwarming, and she's the kindest teacher I've ever met. So if I'm upset and I just don't want to talk, but I just want to talk with her, she just makes me feel good. Because if there's all books out there, but she gets the ones that people want, and you can play at library, and it's not just for reading books.
She's always smiling. She's never really mad. She's a great teacher because she's always just herself, and she decorates it how she likes it, and she likes it the way she likes it, and that's what's so good about it.
I can't just give you one word, right? She's kind, and she's conscientious, and she's caring, and she's thoughtful, and she's everything that you would want in a coworker. So we're really blessed to have her here in Wedgwood.
Innovating, inspiring. It's hard to say one word.
Dedicated.
Respectful or kind.
Heartwarming. Heartwarming.
Mrs. Brockovich is truly a professional, and she loves working with the children. So I think anytime I go into Tracy's classroom, I see her working with students. I see smiles on their faces as they learn a new math fact, or they learn a new strategy on how to solve a problem. She is very encouraging, and she really builds a very strong rapport and relationship with her students that enables them to achieve and to learn the material better. Mrs. Brockovich works hand in hand with the teachers in whose classroom she's working. They plan collaboratively, they strategize. Mrs. Brockovich often has wonderful ideas on how to reach students to help them, get to the finish line to learn a new skill or to master their math facts. And what I think she really does a masterful job with is giving students confidence. You know what? I might not get it the first time. It's okay. You keep going, you keep trying, and I think in education, we do teach academics. Of course, that's hugely important, but also the socio-emotional aspect of things. She's encouraging the students to be good people, to try their best, and you're not always going to get it the first time, and that's okay. But if you keep trying and keep working, you will eventually get it. So I think that she is encouraging and definitely positive to our students.
Tracy's a remarkable educator. She originally started at Herfield, and then she came over to Whitman, actually in 2008, the same year that I joined Whitman. And she initially was a second grade teacher, then she was a fourth grade teacher, and then she moved into the position as our BSI math leader. So Tracy has the opportunity to go into multiple classrooms in different grade levels and provide the basic skills students support in the area of math. So if you were to walk into a classroom where she was working, she would be sitting at a table with students doing small group differentiated instruction with her children. Tracy has always exemplified the leadership qualities of an amazing teacher. No matter what her capacity was in the classroom, she always had the ability to help other educators, whether she was co-teaching or whether she was working with basic skills students. She also participated in a lot of opportunities our district had for her to serve on curriculum committees, whether it be literacy or math. She participated in all of our professional development back when we did the Japanese lesson study, to our book clubs, to serving on curriculum writing committees. So she's always taken a leadership approach to not only helping the children in her classroom, but also helping her colleagues in the district.
I've worked with Tracy for several years, and one quality of hers that sticks out to me is just the connections that she's able to form with the students within the classroom. So even walking into the classroom, you would see Tracy interacting with pretty much every single student there, and it's just the relationships that she's able to build, even given the limited amount of time that she's in the room, is, in my opinion, an awesome quality of hers. I just think Tracy is truly an asset to Whitman School based on her wealth of knowledge regarding math instruction, curriculum, and obviously her vast teaching experience definitely makes her an asset to not only the teaching staff, but also the students of Whitman School.
Miss Brockovich, she's an amazing teacher. She cares about her students. She honors her students for the First in Math awards. Say, for example, I became a grand champion. She'd be like, "Good job, Scarlett, you became a grand champion," and you would get a certificate that says grand champion Scarlett Drake, whatever. She's an amazing teacher because she's always ready to help. For example, if someone doesn't have an eraser, she's like, "All right, Pop, there you go, you got it. Because she works so incredibly hard to help her students. She cares about others, and I think that makes Miss Brockovich who she is.
Professional.
Exceptional. Because she goes over and beyond just meeting the needs of her students every day. She tries to help our teachers so that they continue to grow in their practice as well.
Dedicated. 100%. She is, from the moment she walks in the door till the moment that she leaves, and even thereafter, she's definitely dedicated to providing the best instruction possible for the students here at Whitman.
Amazing.
When you walk into Miss Appleby's class, it's an automatic welcoming experience. She's a drama teacher here, so she gets you totally excited, engaged about the lesson. And people, they take the elective. Sometimes they have to take drama as an elective, but they come out of it and they really appreciate the class because she gets the kids out of their comfort zone and really helps them with their presence, not only for stage, but also for their presence as they start to mature and start to advocate for themselves. It's pretty amazing. I think she's deserving of the recognition because she kind of fulfills two things that make for a teacher of the year. So on one hand, her personal character, and on the other hand, her academic prowess. So I'll talk about her academic prowess first. Kind of what I mentioned earlier about, being engaging, welcoming in class. Not only that, she also teaches some ELA classes here as well. So she has rich pedagogy, understands learning design, understands how to help children. She's always involved in the events, whether she's going to a basketball game, a band concert, chorus concert, or supporting children in People's Choice or the like, and she runs the drama and supports the musical as well. So in all facets of that profession, she's good and she's exemplary. In regards to her character, she's pretty unmatched by in that regard, in that she I think she's just one of the kindest people I know. She will never allow you to feel sorry for her, and she always is so other-centered. So regardless, we all have stuff going on in our lives that brings us down sometimes, but that never shows because she's always serving somebody else or lifting somebody else up and putting herself aside for the betterment of everybody. She's one of the most positive people I know.
I can tell you it's pretty amazing that there are so many students who I see throughout the day, and some of the students might be shy or very timid, and even students that I have known throughout the course of my time here, that I've seen them for 2.5 years, and they might just say hello to me, and we try to get some conversations going, and it's tough at times. And I can tell you, when we go into Megan's class to see these kids performing, acting out in front of their peers is just phenomenal. I can tell you that she never gives up on kids. That there are, especially my first year here, I saw this from probably the first few weeks, that Mrs. Appleby is always trying to get through to her kids. And she'll try different things. She'll come to me if things aren't working, and we brainstorm, and she still keeps on pushing through. And even if she's not getting through, I could tell you that it would leave a lot of people very frustrated when they put their heart and soul into a specific task or working with some students, and things just don't work out. But not Mrs. Appleby. Like, she keeps on pushing through, and there are plenty of times where I think people would have thrown their hands up and said, hey, I gave it my best effort, let's move on. But not her. There's plenty of times where I think she could have given up on kids, but she doesn't. Whether if we have the most neediest student in here or the top performer, she's always going to try to find a way to get through to that student and to help them reach their potential. I think it helps make me a better administrator because she is so, I would say, transparent about what goes on here. She gives us ideas here and there. I could say that she is a great community person, that I know there are so many families who absolutely love, working with Mrs. Appleby, and they're almost heartbroken when they leave here. Like, it's a big piece of a big chunk of them that leaves here when they leave 8th grade, because she not only has an impact in the classroom, she's at plenty of our school events, and then what she does on with the drama club is just phenomenal. It's seeing her be on her game all of the time, giving it 110%. Before school, during school, and after, with especially her drama students, is phenomenal. Like, she really makes it feel, middle school is a very tough place. She makes it feel like a home, makes it feel like a family.
This is the first year I actually got to experience and teach with Megan. She is my BSI teacher for our 7th period class, and she's just phenomenal. She does the play, she does drama, and then she was thrown into an ELA class, but she's like my grammar guru, so she's always helping me make worksheets and PowerPoints, and she just comes in and like jumps right in. She's just amazing. I absolutely love teaching with her. She's like a true bulldog. I mean, she will do anything for anyone. She always goes above and beyond. She's a great friend and colleague to have.
Well, you would see she's very energetic. She's possibly like the nicest person I've ever met. And her room is just, it's a big place where you can express all of your, you can act, you also learn so much in her class. And she teaches you so much, but she also makes everything so much fun. Oh God. Whenever you're unhappy, she can tell, and she'll make you feel so much better. And you can just be yourself around her. Sometimes, like with other teachers, you can't always be like that. She's just so nice to everybody, and even if you don't know her, she's always so nice to you.
Her class seems like so much fun. I always hear from all of my friends about like all the different plays they're doing and everything that they're learning, and I wish I was in her class. I'm in orchestra. But she always just, like when you see her in the hallway, she always just has a smile on her face, and she's just always so happy and energetic and ready to help people learn. I've learned so much from her. She's given me so many amazing experiences after school every single day. I spent a lot of time with her this year because I was the lead. So I was after school with her a lot, and she's just always ready to give you constructive criticism on how to make you a better actor and how to just improve your experience. She's different from all the other teachers. She's always energetic, and she always has a smile on her face in the hallway. And she just treats each of her students as more than just like a number. She has like a personal connection with each of her students, and she just helps everyone through, like if they're ever in a rough time.
Resilient.
Compassion. Love. I know that's 2.
Amazing.
Sweet.
Amazing.
If you walk into Melanie's room, Melanie is not standing in front of the class. All the students are in stations or working in small groups, and Melanie is around facilitating, constantly moving around. She's a facilitator in that classroom, and she just is, the classroom management is outstanding. There's no issues in her room. Kids are striving and wanting to be in that classroom, and she just has a calm presence in her room, and they love being in that classroom. It's wonderful. Her students are meeting with success every year. She actually has the highest SGP in my school for the last 3 years. So her students show growth every year. And she has classroom management, no issues in her room at all. And she works tirelessly to make sure that she has the materials, resources for her students every day.
I've worked with Melanie for a long time on our community and our team, and she is a team player. She is very enthusiastic, and she is very excited to make ELA as much fun as possible for the students, and she really does motivate the students to do really well.
in class. Melanie is such a dynamic and innovating teacher. She really sees all the positive strengths of all of her students. She sets her expectations high, but she knows that her students can reach and meet those expectations.
She's different because a lot of other teachers, they do a lot of work by yourself, but she did a lot of interactive videos and a lot of workbooks, and then you have to do different partner things, which I feel like helped you instead of having to do everything by yourself. She was fun. She did some fun activities with videos or lots of things on your laptop. And on different days, she did some fun activities on Fridays, like reading. She did something for music in her class. She is very helpful and nice, and she cares about everyone instead of just specific kids.
Last year was tons of fun. Like, she was really laid back, and like, we got a lot of work done, and I learned how to like write essays, and like I learned how to like format stuff, and like I learned like in 5th grade, like I was not able to write a lot of the stuff that I can now. Like 7th grade, we just started an essay recently, and it's so much easier to write like paragraphs and like thesis statements and stuff, and it's from that class. She's very nice, and you can talk to her like anytime, like during like study hall periods, like if like you are having trouble with like something in the class, and you can always go and talk to her, and like the class is like very easy to understand, and I really enjoyed that class.
Outstanding.
Enthusiastic. One word to describe Melanie would be loving. She really loves ELA, and she loves her students, and I think within that love is the desire to see her students succeed and to help really to facilitate her students toward success.
Very caring. Actually.
Awesome.
Kelly is like a contagious energy in the building. She's a special education teacher, so she has very versatile skill set that allows her to kind of be in any classroom at any time. But the amazing thing about her versatility is her ability to zero in on understanding the kids that need her support as a special education teacher, and then being able to provide those supports. And her ability to establish rapport with them is kind of amazing when you sit back and watch, because she does. She's like an infectious energy that is positive, and that I sometimes wish that I could clone and move around the building.
Kelly is the sweetest person on the face of the planet. I cannot think of a nicer human being. And she is that way with everyone she comes in contact with. So she's very much, if you would ever walk into her classroom, she's very, nurturing and very helpful. And she's always like over, her students, making sure that, that they're okay. And it's just a very inviting atmosphere that she creates in her classroom. I think it's just the way that Kelly interacts with everyone around her. She, not to sound cliche, but she really does brighten up a room when she walks in. She's always smiling. She's always happy. She's always positive, and she always finds the good in every situation, no matter what it is.
I actually have been so fortunate to co-teach with Kelly for the last 9 years. And Kelly is just a phenomenal teacher. She's so caring. Every single student just feels so comfortable when she's around, whether it's asking for help, asking a question, no matter what it is. She just makes all of her students feel so comfortable. And, a lot of times, not a lot of times, but sometimes it can be hard to really create that atmosphere where both teachers just have a shared role, and that's something that you will absolutely see in our classroom. Both of us share all the responsibilities, and we are just a great team working together. So I think that you would see that camaraderie in our classroom, and I'm just so fortunate to get to work with her every single day. She just puts so much into constantly improving. She's always willing to embrace something new. Whenever we go to a workshop together, or she goes to one, or I come back with one, we're always sharing new ideas. Like, wow, this would be awesome to try in the classroom. And I think that the fact that she is always just constantly wanting to make the class better for our students is just such a phenomenal trait in teachers. And you know, she's always positive, always smiling, and you know, no matter what the day might be, she always has a smile on her face.
She's probably the kindest person I've ever met. She never has a bad word to say about anyone. Even when she's dealing with incredibly frustrating situations, she always finds some sort of positive spin. She always finds a way to make everybody who's in that, you know, tough situation feel better about themselves. She's incredibly hardworking. She's incredibly dedicated. She works with some of our most struggling students, and she does it with such ease and kindness, and she's just such a genuine person.
She's always very in a positive mood, and you know you can always talk to her if you have something wrong, and no matter what it is, she won't get upset, and she will always be there to like comfort you if you need somebody, which is always nice to have in a school. And she's overall a very nice person, and very grateful to have her in our school.
Sometimes most teachers, you know, will get mad if like something goes on in the classroom, like kids are talking. I have not once seen her ever get mad at all, when she probably should have. She never seen her get mad.
Miss Walls is very nice, and she's always caring of her students, and she makes sure that that everything's okay, and that like if she sees that you're stressing out, she'll always make sure to like reassure you that everything's fine. And she's just a really great person overall, and like I really trust her, and she's a really good person to come to when you need to talk to.
She always like helps everyone out, and she's always like pushing us to do whatever, like to be our best selves. And she's just one of the best teachers I've had in a while, and I don't know, she's just amazing. But
amazing. She's just an amazing teacher.
Probably compassionate. She's very down to earth, and she's very interested in her students and being, you know, involved not just in their academics but in their lives as well. She knows, you know, everything about all of her students, and especially working with her in the drama club after school, they love her. And she's always able to see someone else's side of the story. I guess that's why she's always, you know, so positive, and so she's always very calming too to be around.
I would say compassionate. She just really cares about everyone around her, her colleagues, her students, whether it's students in an after-school activity or even just someone in the hall. You know, she's always just willing to help anyone.
Amazing.
Energetic.
Kind.
I would say most likely caring, because you can tell that whenever you go by Miss Walsh, she will always like have a nice thing to say to you, and even if it's just a hello, it can brighten your whole entire day.
I don't know. She's really I would just use the word like wonderful, because she's all around just amazing. I don't know.
Donna's really, she is an incredible facilitator of discussion. The engagement that she creates and the atmosphere that Ms. Pancari creates in her classroom, everybody leaves there feeling smarter than when they walked in, right? So, you know, when you read some of the nominations that kids wrote, it's exactly what you see when you go in there. Things like, I never thought I would love to read like classical literature, but Miss Pancari has, you know, inspired me, and so that, you know, I've just always been so impressed to see the dialogue and the deep discussions about literature and you know, good English instruction that she always delivers with her kids. It's really truly a student-centered classroom. I mean, when you go in there, the discussion shows you that the kids have a strong voice in their own learning. And so that facilitates tremendous engagement, right? And then when you look beyond the classroom, right, Ms. Pancari is involved in so many critical initiatives. Our Students Against Violation of the Earth, our SAVE Club, that she has led many initiatives with from our rain garden over on the 11-12 side, to her tireless work with creating sustainable recycling initiatives, writing grants to get us, an additional water fill station, and then the work that she's done with our Women's Forum, which she launched several years ago. I don't know if this is a fact, but we may be one of the only schools that has a true Women's Forum club that is built around helping everybody understand issues that are impacting women in today's society. And so she played a critical role several years ago when our dress code was revised to remove some gender-specific language, and she loves kids, and she does so much for our kids and for our school.
Donna just has this gift of reaching students on a level I've never really experienced before. She really connects with kids, first of all, and she gets them to see themselves as really deep thinkers, and that's really hard to do. And she really makes learning relevant to students, and she does it in a way that makes them feel like, hey, I really do have something to think about, and I have a voice. And she really just makes everything come together for kids, and she goes above and beyond to make connections with them and for them about learning. I think because of the way that she helps students get outside their comfort zone and pushes them and challenges them, because we have to do that. We have to get kids to start thinking about themselves as independent citizens and decision makers, and she does that, and she does it every day. And I've seen her do it with the simplest text, the simplest paragraph writing, where they really are pushed beyond their capabilities.
It's very active. We have a lot of talks about what we're reading, and we have a lot of discussions about what's going on in the real world. And it's kind of cool because she helps us tie it all together and how things have changed over time. And in the past literature, we learn how it ties to now, and how it just issues keep coming and they grow. And it's kind of cool because a lot of it is we're so active and we're so involved and engaged. It's I never went in there and I wasn't engaged in a lesson. I was always so into it, and she just kind of kept us talking, and it was really cool. I think part of it is she doesn't treat us like we're just high school students. She treats us like we're just normal people. So a lot of what we talk about is real and it happens, and she doesn't try to hide everything from us. And I think that's a big part of why I liked her so much, was just because we could talk about so many real world things, and I think that helps you learn a lot better.
The books she always chooses are really interesting and and not books I would usually read or pick out. And it's my first honors class I've ever taken, so it's definitely a little more challenging than maybe most of my classes, but she really cares about her students and how well they do in her class. And she is always staying after school and stuff to help people if they're struggling. Just because she cares so much about her students. Like I said, she always stays after and is always wants her students to do well in her class. And she is very kind, and she loves to tell us stories all the time, which are very interesting and funny. Mm-hmm. And she's just a really nice woman, and just not a teacher I usually would have.
Well, one, she shared a lot of stories, which made it more interesting. Everyone was usually on task and participating, and it was just a good environment. She's a very good teacher. She's also a very good friend. She's there when you're in need. She'll help you with anything you need besides just schoolwork.
Dedicated, and tireless. Sorry, I gave you 2.
Authentic.
Probably just awesome. She's just a great teacher, and I think everything she does really helps us learn as students.
I would say she's very outgoing, kind.
Well, Joanna is enthusiastic. I mean, she loves teaching, and she loves teaching Spanish. I mean, she is truly a champion for world language education with our kids. I love when I see every time if we have a fire drill and we go outside, she's carrying a Spanish flag, right? And so the world language teachers that many of them teach in the same area, they promote that and that critical learning within the world language. She's absolutely a leader of that with our kids. She's helped to lead tremendous growth in our AP program, and she just inspires kids to have a love for the language, and that says a lot. That says a lot about the work that she does for our kids. Well, the kids love her. I mean, she's like, she's reached legendary status, and I think that's because she teaches with an empathetic heart. She gets kids. She understands kids. She's flexible, but she has high expectations. Her kids learn so much, and they feel smart. They talk about, one of the students in their nomination form talked about, feeling smarter, having been in that class than she ever felt before. She didn't think she could do it, and through the work that Mrs. Belisario did with that class and with that particular student and many more, I'm sure, the kid felt inspired and smart, and that's a really powerful thing for a teacher to be able to deliver to a kid.
It would be a treat to walk in her classroom because the minute you walk in, you feel the vibe of electricity. The students are always engaged. They are all speaking Spanish. She's having conversations with them, and you just feel the rapport, the warmth, the minute you walk in. It's just a special environment. She brings life to the curriculum. She has the students actually do work that's associated with the countries. So she did a project where the students were making bracelets and actually writing and doing all kinds of modes in Spanish, but it related right back to the country she was working with. And the bracelets were sold to benefit the people of that country. So that was a project that she just brought to the classroom about a year ago, and she's always looking for those kinds of experiences for the students. So she's always looking to make it real, make it relevant, and impactful.
One thing about Miss Belisario that's really nice, that one of the biggest reasons I picked her for Teacher of the Year is because almost every day she's always standing outside the door, and she always greets us when we go in, and she's always like hola, and even as soon as you walk into the door, you're always just immediately practicing Spanish. So she has Spanish stuff all over the walls. She has a mural, and just her room's really fun, and you can definitely tell it's a Spanish room, and she really cares about Spanish, and it's just a really welcoming room. So I thought that's a big part of why I picked her as the Teacher of the Year, because just her room, and you can tell that that's her room, it's a Spanish room, she really cares. I think one of the best attributes of Senora Belisario is that she always talks with us. We'll have a conversation, and if it's in English, she'll be I'll just talk about it in Spanish, but it'll be it won't be about what we're learning, it'll be our lives, and just a funny story or something, but she'll encourage us to say it in Spanish. So it's a lot more laid back. We're still practicing Spanish, which is the best part, because that's the hardest part, is speaking, but she really encourages us to speak in Spanish, even if it's just normal conversation, we'll speak it in Spanish.
It's just really relaxed, and I feel I'm so comfortable being around her, the students in the class. It just makes me feel I'm that's one of the classrooms in the school that I am excited, I look forward to going to, just because it's so comfortable. I can talk to her about the class and about problems if I'm having any. She's just really open, really easy to talk to.
I think that she definitely believes in that a lot. She likes that people can work together, and she likes to help us all out. We like to have fun in that class too. I think that it's a big thing for her, other than getting the schoolwork done, which she definitely helps us with. It's also big for her to make sure that we're having fun in her class as well. She likes to have conversations with you about what's going on in your life, and she's almost like a friend in that way, where she likes to talk to you about things that are going on with you at home, all that kind of stuff.
You would probably see not a typical lecture take notes class. She's always very interactive, and she makes up these games that help us learn vocab and the different conjugations of all the verbs we have to use and the different tenses we have to use. And she's always her energy is really contagious. She's always very positive and motivating, and that's what I like so much about her. I'd say her passion about Spanish and how encouraging she is to her students and how determined and patient she is with her students. Because Spanish is like hard to learn, and it's like a lot of memorization. There's like a lot of vocab, and you need to know like a lot of things. So I'd say that. Well, no matter what kind of day she's having, she always makes sure that her students come first, and that she's always happy and trying to create a positive environment.
Energetic. Just a few weeks last week, she was here in the middle of the night at Monzo Madness, filling a void to help us by, bringing in cheese and bread and then cooking grilled cheese sandwiches. And this was literally 3 o'clock in the morning, right? Because, that's how she connects with kids beyond just the great instruction she provides them.
Dynamic.
Caring is the best, which would in Spanish be simpático or simpática, because she's just one of the nicest teachers I've ever had, and I think she's definitely one of the biggest reasons I chose AP Spanish. Even though I've always liked Spanish, since I knew she was going to be the teacher, I was like, I can definitely do AP Spanish if Senora Belisario is the teacher.
Fantastica. She is like the best teacher I've ever had. I love spending time with her. I love being in her class just because like she brings like such good energy, good vibes. Like everyone says it too. Like I'm not the only one that thinks it, and like it just like it's something that I look forward to going to. Like Spanish is hard, but she makes it fun. She makes it like I look forward to it every day, 6th period. Like it's my favorite class.
If I had to give one word in English, it would be friendly. And one word in Spanish would be graciosa, which means funny, because every time I come to her class, she's always able to make me laugh, and just everything she says and does is just a good time to be in her class.
Probably caring, and in Spanish, probably es fantástico.
Karen is she is Township, right? She's been here forever. She'll kill me for saying that because, she certainly doesn't look anywhere near as old as she must be numbers-wise, having 36 years in the position. But she has the perspective of what it was like to teach here, the perspective of the ever-changing world of school counseling, the perspective of a parent that had many kids go through here and graduate from our school. She does yeoman's work in helping to build the master schedule, a real, labor of love that she's assumed within the last couple of years. And Karen's like a soldier. She's just whatever it takes kind of mentality to help kids become the best version of themselves. We have many staff, but Karen's absolutely at the top of people who, nothing's not her job, right? And so if a kid needs her on a Saturday, or if there's some type of crisis, whether real or perceived, in the minds of the families and the kids that she serves, she will be there, and never a complaint, and never looking for any kind of return. It's what she does, because that's her gift. That's what she gives to these kids in this community. Well, the trust that we've built, the confidence that I have in the work that she does with kids, from everything from the administrivia stuff that's really important, like making sure schedules are right, and making sure that grades are accurate, and supporting teachers, whether new or experienced, with helping to navigate students that have 504s or IEPs, special needs, but then also the caring heart for some of the things that you can't really measure. Could never imagine, really having a higher level of confidence with a kid, with a counselor than I have with Mrs. Carpenter. You walk by her office, and when there are kids in there, and they're always in there, that they're getting top-notch support from their counselor, and that makes you feel good as an administrator.
Karen is very deserving of this honor. I've had the opportunity to have a front row seat to watch her for 36 years. The commitment to the children in this community is second to none. She truly cares about each and every student that's in her office, and I'm so happy that she's being recognized for that. She truly cares not only about the students, but their families, the situations they may be in. She's a very thoughtful person.
Karen embodies every characteristic that the perfect counselor, educator, person should have. She's resilient and compassionate and knowledgeable, professional. She listens attentively and just cares so much about what she does. It impacts it greatly in every way. As we take on new initiatives, Karen is right there supporting it. She's positive, enthusiastic. She's smart. She's heavily involved, more than people realize.
Karen was actually my school counselor in high school many years ago. So she impacted me to go into education. So, and then when I went back to school for counseling, she was my supervisor as far as like my mentor. So it was awesome to see her, as a student, and then to see her, actually doing the job behind the scenes. Karen builds a rapport with her students, and I feel like that's so important because I feel like if you can connect with them, then you can help them through anything.
So I can't go one, I'm going to go two. I would say resilient because, she really exemplifies in many ways some of the things that she's come through in her life and with tremendous class and grace, what it means to just be, a person of very high character that is resilient and can bounce back from obstacles that are put in front of you. And then the other one is supportive, right? So resilient personally, and then supportive in what she gives to others. She'd give you the shirt off her back because you need it, not because she thinks she's going to get one back in return. She'd give you, she's the shoulder that kids cry on, and she's the one crying when the kids that struggled graduate and make it, and she owns the success of her kids.
Effervescent.
Karen is strong.
Dedicated.